Hey there guys, welcome back. Today I'm at the end of my road at my rainwater gardening project. If you followed the channel for any amount of time, you might remember that I grow squash, Indian squash, and an Indian corn or a native corn to my area in Arizona off of just the rainwater. Basically what I do is harvest it off of my road, channel it into this little pond right here that you see behind me, and basically it's during our monsoon seasons, and I grow this off of nothing but rainwater. So there's no house water, no well water, nothing but the rain. So if there's no rain, I don't really grow much. But I've had a really good experience in the past couple of years doing it, and I wanted to show you as number one an update to this project. I do it every year, and number two as just an example of what you can do when you use native plants. And maybe if anything, it might encourage you to use native plants to your area to, I guess, aid in your garden production. It's usually native plants are very hardy and robust to whatever conditions you, I guess, encounter. And in the case of myself here, other than building this pond and doing a little bit of shoveling, for about 3 or 4 years now, there's been no other inputs other than my initial inputs. So I look at it as kind of kind of free food, free gardening. But basically, if you haven't seen this before, I'll give you a little quick tour. But basically, it's what I do is collect water, rainwater that comes off of my road. I divert it down in this area into this little pond and into a berm that houses that corn there. Basically that's kind of how I grow it. So let me give you a little quick tour, and I'll kind of show you how the system works if you're not familiar with it. It's kind of a permaculture style system, but so far I've had really good success and really happy with it, and you know, maybe it'll give you an idea of something you can do in your own area. Okay, so I'll just start the tour kind of showing you, those are the squash beds. This is a Terra Humera squash that I got from the Native Seed Search Company or organization in Tucson, Arizona. They specialize in native seeds of the Southwest. There's my 60-day corn. This is a non-Monsanto, non-GMO corn. It grows about half the size, and the ears are about 50 to 60% the size of a normal ear of corn. But like I said earlier, it's something I grow 100% off of rainwater. And then I'll just show you a couple little bits of these squash real close, just so you can kind of see what they look like. They look like little baby watermelons. Obviously this is one. As you can see, it's growing from that bed. It's growing all the way up through this tree, and they're like a vining squash. But they'll grow into like a small football size, maybe a little bit smaller when you pick them. Or that's when I usually pick them, but they taste just like regular crookneck or gray or any squash that you would normally get from the store, but they're actually quite a bit bigger and not as pithy. So let me walk up to the road, and I'll give you a little bit better tour for those of you who aren't familiar with this type of system. So in totality, the whole system starts up at my house, and so when it rains, all the rainwater runs along this road and hits a little speed bump right there, and is basically directed off the road into this little group of rocks. And I actually added this little concrete water weir, totally not necessary. The only reason I added that is, I'll give you a little closer look. I put that there so that I can put boards across there to mitigate some of the sand and sediment that ends up depositing. And basically that's nothing more than to just keep it from inundating my corn too terribly much. So basically, so from there, I'll kind of give you the overview. The water will go through there, run down this channel right here, and it runs into my corn berm. So that's about a 12 to 15 inch berm, maybe 18 inches on the back side, that houses all this corn. This fills up with water, and then when it overflows, some of the water goes through this spillway here, and then there's also a 4-inch PVC diverter that diverts it into that little pond. There's another one of my little squash. So we'll just take the route of the water, So when it overflows, the water overflows, this is all bermed up on the sides, into this pond. And basically when it rains, when we have an event, this whole area floods. And that's really the only reason I have those little mini beds for the squash, is just to keep them from being too inundated with the water when it does flood. There's my little outlet so that after it floods, it doesn't, the water doesn't sit around. But obviously I want this pond to fill up, and then I just use a 5-gallon bucket to bucket this water from the pond to irrigate this squash and this corn in the the times that we don't have rain. So I'll show you a little bit up closer view of some of this squash. It's all flowering out right now. As you saw earlier, these little squash buds are just now forming, and they should be ready in about a month to a month and a half. And like I said, it's real good squash. I get 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, maybe 9 squash on each one of these little plants. But that's pretty much it, guys. Hope that might have been an interesting tour of my little project here. And if anything, maybe it'll give you an idea of something you can do for your own garden. Obviously, this isn't my main garden area, but it's something I do to grow with some native seeds, and it's worked out really, really well for me. This squash, actually, by the way, I do have in a couple of my fruit tree wells. So I do have it growing kind of up in my main garden area, but just this native seed is amazing, and it doesn't require that I go out and water it every day like your tomatoes or peppers or I guess your more traditional plants. So that's about it, guys. The sun's coming out and the lighting's probably get a little worse, so I'll let you go for now, but thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions about this system, or maybe something like it that you might be doing in your area. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.